Hello, everyone, and welcome to Quest, a journey into true crime and the paranormal. My name is Misty Gaither, and I'm your host. And I am so excited tonight to have with me the one and the only, the multi-talented, just amazing person, Nola Deej. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, and I am assuming your first name isn't Nola.
No, it is not.
DJ?
Everybody just calls me DJ.
Okay,
Yep.
Let's talk about, you do urban exploration. Mm-hmm. You are a fantastic photographer.
Thank you.
Now I'm talking not just a fantastic photographer, but I'm talking like one of the best I've seen, and I just enjoy your pictures so much. To me, your pictures, it's easy for a photographer. Okay, I have a shot. The shot looks good. I'm going to take it. But it's like your pictures are so, I don't know, it's like they tell a story without words.
Thank you.
That's the best way that I can describe them. I mean, they're, of course, clear and concise, and, that's a bonus, when you're a photographer.
Yeah.
But yours is a little bit more than that. It's, like I said, they tell a story, and I've been, researching and just going through, and I'm just impressed with everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try, with whatever I show or post or whatever, I will caption it always, but yeah, with just the picture alone, that's what I want to convey, is just what you're looking at tells its own story and how you interpret it.
I think that I first, came to notice your channel and your pages and your social media, and it was when that you were, exploring Six Flags.
Oh.
And I think that that's one of the places that you're known for. And for those of you who do not know, Six Flags of New Orleans was closed for Hurricane Katrina in 2005, and it never reopened. And so it just sat there, and for the past 20 years, just literally rotting away.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that experience. How soon or how long after Katrina were you able... Did you, that you went in and started exploring it?
Well, we only went a few years ago, so
Mm-hmm.
it was a while. But after it, I had never been to Six Flags or Jazzland before it was Six Flags.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never been to the park at all. And I always wanted to go. I just never got around to going. And then when Katrina came and took out the park, I said, well, there's my chance for ever getting in there. But then... after, I would say, maybe about 5 or so years, you started seeing people posting pictures from inside the park, exploring the park. And this is before I was really aware of what urban exploration was. But it got me interested. And so I would see more and more. And that place became kind of one of the biggest in the urbex community. Like, that's one of the top places to come explore. Like, people will drive here from far, far away just to go explore Six Flags. And I have a group of friends that we've put together to explore together for safety reasons. And the day came, we said, look, let's do it. Let's go into Six Flags. And we were able to get inside and spend the day inside there and film and take pictures and walk around the park. And it was awesome.
How many times have you got to explore there, you think?
I've gotten to go twice. Well, technically 3 times. The first time we went as the group, and that was when I first went and took pictures and filmed and everything. The second time was more of to help somebody who was there, another photographer who was there, do some behind the scenes work that he was working on. So I was actually there with his permission, and he was there with permission. So that was a much different experience, to actually be in the park with permission and be able to walk around without having to worry about security or anything like that.
Right. So I was going to ask you, is it more of a thrill without permission? Or
yeah.
is it?
Yes, it is more of a thrill because you're constantly worried about, running into security or whatever. And the way we approach these types of things, especially with urban exploration, we're just there to document. Our whole sole purpose is to document the place. We don't break into anything. We don't take anything. We don't uh, spray paint anything. We don't vandalize anything. We
Sure.
don't change anything or whatever. We just walk around and take pictures or video and leave, and that's it. And Six Flags is no exception. That was like my top bucket list place. And when we finally got to go, it was very thrilling because, you know, you're there worried about security, but you're also worried about other people that might be in the park, and you're worried about wildlife like alligators, snakes,
Sure.
wild boar. We've heard horror stories from other people that have been there before, and thankfully we didn't run into any of that. We ran into a snake, but that was it.
Yeah, I could understand that because, I mean, abandoned, 20 years, almost 20 years, it everything just kind of maybe gravitates to it.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to exploring Six Flags, I mean, I remember a video where you explored Turo Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
That was, for those of you who do not know, it's a abandoned nursing home in the Algiers area.
Right.
And, I mean, those were some beautiful shots. And even though it was just, like, decrepit and just, like, but then some of it was the way that it was filmed was beautiful. It's kind of a, just to use the word haunting,
Mm-hmm.
the way that it,
Oh, yeah.
the way that it was portrayed, the way that it was filmed, So what I was wanting to ask, and I want to get into some more of your, the exploration part. When have you always had an interest in the paranormal, or did you notice things that would happen while you were exploring that would be paranormal that you couldn't explain maybe?
Well, the paranormal stuff really kind of came about after I was doing exploring. Toro, going back to Toro real quick, that was my first place I ever explored.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was my very first place I've ever explored, and it was awesome. We went back a bunch of times. I've been there a bunch of times. After I started my YouTube channel a few years later, somebody who is involved in paranormal investigation contacted me and said, "Hey, look, me and a group are going to the DeRidder Gothic hanging jail,
Yeah.
and we're going to do a paranormal investigation there. Would you like to come and film that?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I would." So I drove to DeRidder, Louisiana, and met up with them and filmed their investigation, and I was hooked. It was awesome. Now, prior to that, I had already been watching shows like Ghost Hunters and all that
Sure.
stuff, so I was already kind of fascinated by that stuff, but I never really thought about doing it. But after that, I said, okay, yeah, this might be something I would really like to do. And then I did a couple more with that same group and some more people. And one of the guys from that group and myself and a couple other friends of mine have started a paranormal investigation group in addition to my exploration group. And so now I'm kind of working that into things as well.
Now, with that part of the group, was that Kevin Betzer and Randy Hardy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Randy, I know he was on a show called Deep South Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Kevin also.
Kevin,
yeah,
right, and Kevin also. Yeah, so that's a great group. And I know that y'all investigated the Vessel Restaurant
Yeah,
together.
that was awesome.
Yeah, and that definitely, I mean, it was also on the Dead Files.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I went and ate there once, after seeing that, and I was like, oh yeah, this has got a little something going on here.
That place, I've just been in a few paranormal investigations, and that place was probably my favorite so far, because we just got a lot of stuff that we couldn't explain, and we were using a device or whatever that picks up words,
Mm-hmm.
and it was leading us to, in certain directions around the restaurant. And Randy and Kevin were like, we've never seen this before. We've never experienced this to this extent before. Like, it was literally, we were asking it, where should we go now? And it would say left.
Yeah.
Or it would say north. It was pretty interesting.
Now, have you had any experiences like prior, like when you were growing up, or is this just like when you went to the DeRidder jail? Like, was that just the first time you've really came in contact with the paranormal?
So I've had some unexplained experiences throughout my life, I guess. A long time ago at a place that I worked, I used to work overnight. And when I was working one night, I was the only one in the whole building. And where I was positioned, there's kind of a hallway or whatever outside of a door where I was. In that hallway were all these unplugged power tools, like a big table saw and a whole bunch of saws and just a bunch of big power tools, but none of them plugged in. They just stored them in this hallway to use when they needed them for whatever they were going to use them for. One night, I'm working, and it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I hear one of these table saws turn on.
What?
And you know the sound of a table saw.
Sure.
It's loud.
Yeah.
And it's just in this hallway right outside this door where I'm at. So it was pretty loud. It wasn't something that was faint. It was, it's like, and I'm thinking, okay, somebody must be here working on something. So I went out the door to go see who it was. Nobody there. Nothing was on. Nothing was plugged in. Sound was gone. And to this day, I have no idea what that was. But that was kind of the only big experience I had until the Ritter hanging jail. And I had 2 experiences there that we couldn't explain. And I had Kevin and Randy try to find, explain what could have happened with the 2 things that happened to me, and we couldn't recreate it in any kind of plausible way. So 2 more things that I can't explain has happened to me there. And ever since then, I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I want to keep doing this stuff.
Yeah.
This is great.
I think once it gets into your blood, it's just,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Because, the same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just can't live without it. It's just like everything. Now, you've been to explore Charity Hospital.
I have not, actually. The Charity is one of the few places. There's a handful of places in New Orleans that I have not gotten to explore yet. Charity is one of them. And the reason for that is, people ask me that a lot. Why haven't you been to Charity yet? Because that's another one that's on the top of people's lists.
Sure.
Charity is very, very secured. It's very monitored. And there's nothing inside. It's just the shell of the building. So the way I look at it is, it would be cool to go there and explore the inside of that building, but there's nothing to see, and the risk is too high.
Makes sense.
So I haven't chosen to, the risk did not weigh the prize, so to speak. So I haven't done Charity yet.
So that the urban explorer part of you is saying that. But then I'm thinking the paranormal part would be like, that place is infested with spirits and just, so sad about all the people who perished, during Katrina and just the imprint of people passing away for years, and I'm sure like some of the nurses' spirits probably come back there because, you talk to nurses, and they were so proud of working at the Charity Hospital and learning there. So I'm sure some of them may have went back because that's such a place they love.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Even though it's something like it's like kind of hollowed out, I don't know. It still would be cool.
So this is how I approach that with urban exploration. I'll go where I want to try to go. With the paranormal investigation, I want to have the permission to be there, to spend time there, to really put a lot of effort into a proper investigation. So if I were to get permission to do an investigation at Charity Hospital, I will jump on that in a heartbeat. That would be awesome. Because even though there's nothing in there, like you said, the spiritual side of things there might be very high. And that would be a fun place to investigate. It really would. And
if you got to go there, you'd be driving and look in your rear view mirror, and who'd be sitting in the back seat?
Exactly. Exactly. You'd be right there with us.
I would. I'd be like just right there. But you did, if I'm not mistaken, you did investigate Lindy Boggs.
Well, I explored it. I haven't
explored, not investigate, but explored. Explored there.
Yeah, we went there a bunch of times too.
Yeah, so that was just. We're talking about all these hospitals that was just decimated practically from Katrina and Lindy Boggs. It's barely holding on by a thread.
Yeah, they've since gutted it. That's the last I heard. But when we went, I definitely felt you could feel some heaviness inside of certain areas of that place because people did perish during and after Katrina because they were similar to was it Memorial the other hospital that is kind of more. They made a show about it, or 5 days of Memorial.
I think so.
Lindy Boggs has a very similar story to Memorial, whereas after Katrina, their generators, which were in a basement, flooded, turned off, no generators, no power, and people, patients started passing away. Unfortunately, they were trying to evacuate them as quickly as they could. But yeah, while we were there, the few times we went, it was like you could feel something. And one of the girls I'd explore with, Regina, she has she's very what do you call it?
Like sensitive or
Yeah,
psychic?
sensitive.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and so she would be like, we need to avoid this area, or we need to avoid that area because there's something there that I don't want to get involved with. Yeah, and so like she's kind of like our our spiritual guide in a way, while we do these urban explorations. But that would be another place I would like to do a proper investigation with. That would be really cool.
What about the nursing homes that's not there no more in St. Bernard?
Oh, you're talking about
St. Rita's
St. Rita. Yeah.
and Fernandez.
Yeah, I've never been there. Never got a chance to go to either of those.
Sad story about St.
Oh,
Rita's.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
very sad horror story. That, I just imagine that so many of the spirits are so restless and probably angry, and just
definitely.
and it's just sad that if they're still trapped there anywhere,
Yeah,
it's
even
just
on
really
on
sad.
the property itself.
Yeah.
Has anything been built in its place, or is it just?
I'm
just been
thinking
raised?
at St. Rita's it's like a rehab or something there
Okay.
now.
So the building itself is probably still
I'm not for sure.
okay.
But I know that I don't know if they've used the same building or they just rebuilt something there or used part of it. But regardless,
Yeah, either
I
way.
think it's like kicking. It is.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So you went to an abandoned prison in New Orleans. How was that?
Scary.
Yeah.
We went. That was we chose for whatever reason to go at night, and we went at about, I don't know, 11 o'clock or midnight, and it was great at first until we ran into a couple of guys, I guess, that were running a bicycle chop shop on the inside. We didn't realize what we had stumbled upon right
Wow.
away. We were walking, the area in a prison or whatever, the visiting area where there's like the glass and the phone, and you talk to your loved one or whatever through the glass and the phone. That area, we had walked into it, and there were, I don't know, 10 or so bike frames hanging off of little ropes or whatever, all spray painted different colors, bike tires and wheels and pedals, bike parts just everywhere. And we're going, what is this?
Right.
We're like, is this a bicycle chop shop? And while we're looking at this and talking about it and filming it, we hear somebody scream, who the F is that? And we're like, oh, let's go.
Oh yeah.
So we start booking it. Now, again, this is at night. So it's dark outside and it's dark inside. And we don't want them to see our lights. So we're stumbling through these areas that the floors are covered in trash and whatever else is down there, and we're trying to make our way out. We can't find where we came in, so we kind of got trapped into this little area in the dark, and we're just kind of sitting there, and we can hear them coming for us.
Oh.
We can hear like their footsteps and them talking something like, I think they went over this way. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And in my head, I'm going through all these different scenarios. Like, okay, is this it for me? Like, is this,
Yeah.
I did something really
they
stupid
don't play.
here. Yeah. And I'm like, we're in this place that, we're not supposed to be in, and nobody knows that we're here, and they can do whatever they want and probably get away with it. So I'm going through all these things in my head, like, okay, how can I talk my way out of it? If these guys find us, what can I say to get them to just let us go and be on our way? Thankfully, they never found us. When we heard their voices kind of moving away from us, we booked it again, and we found our way out and got out, and that was that. We're like, all right, we don't ever want to do that again.
That is scary. I don't know what I'd say either. Maybe like, hey, we're here to buy a bike.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know something.
Yeah. I was thinking of ways I could talk myself out of it. Like, all right, what can I do to help? Or, I'll go get you another bike for you or
Right.
something.
I'll help you spray paint
Yeah,
something,
exactly.
anything to get out of
Yeah.
there. Now, your exploration and maybe your paranormal investigation is just not limited to the New Orleans area. You
Right.
go around. I think that you've went to more of the rural towns and in Louisiana, and then I noticed that recently you've been to Alabama.
Yep.
It was an abandoned college,
Mm-hmm.
and how was that? Was it any roll tides that they left that or no?
No, it's a very small college, and it's off the beaten path. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's really weird, but the campus it's not huge, but it's big. There's about, I don't know, 7 or 8 buildings that were there, and then some little housing kind of areas, like little houses or whatever, that were all kind of part of it. Everything empty. Well, I say empty. Everything not inhabited. Stuff. People just left their stuff there. Like, it was just as if somebody walked away and said, "We're done with this place."
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That place was cool. We had talked about camping there, and we had lunch there when. So my crew, shout out to the crew do exploration. We've got Regina, BJ, Jason, and Rick. Those guys, they're my like exploring buddies. We decided when we all met up there, let's have lunch. So my friend Likens Films, he brought his wife or whatever, made a bunch of sandwiches for everybody, and he had all these snacks on the table inside this abandoned like some kind of auditorium or whatever that we were in. Set it all up on the table and everything. We had like a picnic inside of an abandoned place.
Best picnic ever.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool.
So you're now, not only are you an urban explorer, paranormal investigator, photographer, you're now an author.
Yep.
And this is your first book.
My first book, yeah.
And it's already, the last I had checked, it was number 3 on Amazon. And I'm sure it's going to be going up even more.
It was number 3 for about maybe 3 hours on the day that I posted that. That's since changed because it fluctuates on Amazon. But yeah, it made it to number 3 bestseller in the history category, I think it was.
And that's huge because you know that there's 20 million history books out there. So that is, and when is it coming out? Because I know that, that it's not out. So when will it be out?
It comes out officially August 25th, but it is available for pre-order now. Pretty much everywhere. Anywhere you go to buy a book, you can find it, or just go to my website, www.noladeej.com.
Got you. Now, are you going to be doing like some book signing?
I don't know yet. The company, the publishing company that does the book or whatever, that was mentioned. I don't know if that'll be something that actually comes to fruition. That'll be cool if I do.
I like it. I think that would be a really great idea. I'm really looking forward to the book being out, and it's called Deserted New Orleans.
Deserted New Orleans.
And so, it'll have pictures that you took, I'm assuming, that of all these places that we talk about, and then more too.
Oh yeah. There's about 12 locations that I've done in the book, so 12 chapters, and then for each chapter I give the history of that location. So I talk about the history about it, and then a little story about us exploring it as well, to kind of go along with the pictures that I've included for it.
Now, earlier we were talking about the bucket list, like charity, which is on mine also. What else is on your bucket list? Like, what would be the ultimate? Like, it doesn't have, tell me your ultimate one in Louisiana, but then tell me, like, the other ultimate elsewhere.
So, ultimate for, I guess, this area would be the Municipal Auditorium. Like, I would love to go in there. That place would be awesome. I know a lot of people that have been in there. I have not attempted it yet. But ultimately, globally, Chernobyl. Whoa. Chernobyl is at the very
get that hazmat suit ready.
Yeah, I would love to go explore Chernobyl. That would be so cool.
Talk about pictures, huh?
Yeah.
If you made it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like currently they're dealing with some stuff right now,
A little bit.
wartime. But when hopefully that's over at some point, yeah, I've talked with a couple of friends about going out there if we can pull it off.
That would be like, yeah, the ultimate would be Chernobyl.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So what's on your plans? Like maybe another book, or you got any exploration or investigations that's coming up? Or
So I do want to do another book. I've discussed that already with the publishing company. So that's something I'm kind of starting to get put together. I've focused a lot more on my photography than the videos. I used to put videos out more regularly. And in probably the last year or two, I've switched more to just photography because I'm just enjoying that a whole lot more now. And so that is going to be where it leads to book, another book or books or whatever. Hopefully more will come. The paranormal investigations. So the group that I created with Kevin and a couple of other friends is called the Louisiana Paranormal Project. We're still kind of getting that off the ground. We've done one investigation that we're still kind of putting together. We have quite a few more in the pipeline that we're planning to do when we find the time to do it. And when we do, we're going to start releasing those videos. We have a channel specifically for that, but I'll probably share it on my stuff as well and websites and everything. So
that'll be cool. I can't wait to see. And if you ever, like, somebody gets sick or,
we'll always be open to inviting guests.
Thank you. I was just, you have, sometimes you just got to plug yourself. You know how it is.
Absolutely.
I was just saying, I got some equipment, know.
You're one of the first people that asked me to go do an investigation, and we still haven't done that yet.
We still
look.
We just met today, like in person.
I know.
It takes us a few years,
right?
But we'll get around to it.
Exactly.
Oh, I would love to. That would be so cool. And then get to meet also Randy and Kevin too. I just was thinking about how we've been trying to meet for so long. Our mutual friend, Brittany, and she's been on my show before, and so she kind of, helped prod it along. So I really appreciate it. But she left us.
Yeah,
moved to California.
She moved out to California.
Who does that?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the weather is probably nicer there.
Well, when it ain't burning, yeah.
True.
Yeah, the weather. Yeah, because you never know here what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Speaking of the weather, what are some kind of things that maybe hinder some of your investigations? Besides not supposed to be there, but like, is it like maybe too dangerous, or just you just like, okay, we're gonna do this, and you get there and you're like, oh my God, this is too bad.
So what I like to do, and everybody's different, because there's people that will investigate, that will explore with like not a care in the world. I don't like doing it when it's hot.
True.
So if it's hot outside, I probably don't want to go. So I typically will say, like, let's wait till it gets cold. And the reason for that is, one, the heat, but two, critters, right? So
True.
like, I don't like wasps, I don't like spiders, I don't like snakes, I don't like all that stuff. And if it's really cold outside, you're going to have less of a chance of running into those types of things. If it's really hot outside, they're everywhere.
Yep.
And if you're in a place that hasn't been inhabited for a while, there's going to be a lot of those things inside, and I don't want to run into any of them.
I'm definitely with you on that, because I am scared of those, huge roaches.
Oh yeah.
I cannot.
Oddly enough, those don't bother me. When we were in Toro the second time, so the first time we went to Toro, nothing was boarded up. So like all the windows and everything you could see out of the windows. The second time we went, they had boarded all the windows up. And we went into one room, or I went into one room, and I happened to shine my light on it, on the window that was boarded up. And as soon as my light hit it, about 50 roaches scattered across the window. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
I would be just froze.
I didn't be like, oh my God. No, I was just like, no, that's cool looking.
Let me take a picture for my book in the chapter titled Roaches.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, see, I would, no. I couldn't. I just have this fear, this real fear. Well, everybody, go to Nola Deej. He has, I'm going to put the socials up. It's got everything, IG, Facebook, TikTok, all the great ones he has. And go and pre-order the book too, called Deserted New Orleans, and check out the photography. You'll be really impressed. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more from you.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. I plan to continue putting more stuff out. So.
All right. Well, it's such a pleasure to meet you in person and talk with you. I'm glad
Same
that we
here.
could do it. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And please, if you could, hit that subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. And have a good night, and I will see you next week. Good night.